All right, so you want to get better at persuading people, right? Get more yeses.
Yeah.
Well, stick with us because we're diving deep into a bunch of audio excerpts today, and they're all about
Well,
persuasion techniques and personal development strategies.
okay.
We're going to become master persuaders, not just by learning slick tricks,
Right.
but by understanding the psychology behind influence
Ah,
and how personal growth plays a big role.
it is fascinating how much people think persuasion is all about
Yeah,
manipulation or some sort of natural talent.
right.
But these excerpts really focus on how it's a learnable skill
Yeah.
that can be developed with the right knowledge and practice.
Okay, let's just jump right in then.
Quick.
One of the excerpts I was looking at had this crazy statistic.
What's that?
80% of deals
Wow.
go to the 10% of people who are the most persistent.
Mm.
Like, they keep trying even after the fourth attempt.
That's pretty amazing.
That really changes how you think about this whole thing.
It does.
Like, it's not just about being a smooth talker.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It really proves that it's more about having a system
Yeah.
and being dedicated to it.
It's like that analogy of the wood chopper, right?
Yeah.
The one who stops to sharpen their axe
Huh.
ends up chopping way more wood.
It makes sense.
So if we take that and apply it to persuasion,
Okay.
are you saying that working on yourself,
Yeah.
even when things are super busy, is what will ultimately help you get better results?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to sharpen your axe sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether that's adding some new skills or refining your technique
Uh-huh.
or maybe even getting guidance from a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to invest in yourself.
Now that makes me think about something else these excerpts talk about.
What's that?
Preparation.
Right.
Knowing your message
Yeah.
and knowing your audience.
It sounds pretty basic,
Yeah.
but it's actually super important.
Huh. What do you think about that?
Well, think about it. You're not going to try to persuade an investor the same way you convince your friends to try a new restaurant.
Oh, of course not.
You got to change how you approach each different situation.
So how do you really know your message, though?
Well, the excerpts say you should ask yourself some questions.
Like what?
Like, what are all the emotional reasons that would make my audience want to say yes?
Oh, that's interesting.
Because logic isn't always enough. You know,
True.
you have to make a connection with people
Uh-huh.
on an emotional level.
Okay, and what about knowing your audience?
Yeah.
Is that just figuring out who they are, like,
Right.
demographically?
More than that.
Really?
Remember that quote by Harper Lee?
Oh, yeah.
You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view.
It's so true.
You really have to step into your audience's shoes
Yeah.
and understand their needs.
It's vital for persuasion.
It is.
That's a great reminder to think about their perspective,
Mm.
not just our own agenda. Now, going back to that 10% statistic,
Yeah.
it just seems like people give up way too easily.
Yeah, they do.
The excerpts actually said that 48% give up after just one try.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It is. But persistence is so important,
Yeah.
especially when you have a system in place
Yeah.
to track how you're doing and stay motivated.
Which makes me think about setting goals even for something like persuasion.
Absolutely. Goals are like your roadmap.
Okay.
They're what keep you focused. When you write down your goals,
Yeah.
it turns that intention into a real commitment.
Oh, I like that.
It's a powerful tool for personal development,
Yeah.
and that includes persuasion.
So we've talked about preparation,
Yeah.
knowing your message and
Right.
understanding your audience.
Right.
How do we actually put a persuasive message together?
Okay, well, the excerpts talk about a formula
Oh, really?
called Discover, Design, Deliver.
Okay.
The Discover phase is about getting attention right away
Okay.
by showing your audience why they should even care. Like, let's say you're giving a presentation
Mm-hmm.
to a group of investors.
Yeah.
How would you discover their attention and get them interested right away?
That's a good question.
It is.
It makes me realize that starting strong is super important.
It is.
So what about design then?
Design is where you define the problem you're talking about,
Uh-huh.
and you back up what you're saying with good evidence.
Right.
And the problem you're talking about has to be something your audience actually cares about.
Okay.
This is where knowing their needs and what motivates them comes in.
So you're not just giving people information.
No.
You're making it relevant to them.
Yes.
And impactful.
Really.
And what about deliver?
Deliver is when you present your solution as the big aha moment.
Okay.
You're showing how it solves the problem perfectly.
Right.
And you wrap it all up by telling them exactly what you want them to do next.
It sounds like a great formula to use for any persuasive message.
It is.
Like presentations, sales pitches, even just a casual conversation. Are there any other techniques we can use to be even more persuasive?
Oh, for sure.
Like what?
The excerpts talk about giving choices,
Oh,
but not too many.
right.
Repeating the key points to really drive them home.
Yeah,
And keeping things simple and brief.
I like that.
Respect your audience's time.
I'm always working on keeping things concise.
Me too.
But I have a question.
What's up?
Is it ever okay to bring up
Yeah.
counter-arguments in a persuasive conversation?
That's a great question.
Won't that just give people reasons to say no?
The excerpts actually talk about that.
Really?
They call it the inoculation technique.
Interesting.
By addressing those counterarguments head on, you're building trust
Okay.
and getting rid of criticism before it even starts.
So it's like addressing the elephant in the room
Exactly.
and showing you're not afraid of the tough stuff.
Right.
All these techniques are great,
Yeah.
but there's another part of persuasion that's important.
What's that?
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Like that genuine feeling that's hard to define.
Right.
But you know it when you see it.
Totally.
I've definitely met people who seem really polished and articulate,
Yeah.
but something just feels off.
That's because you're picking up on their lack of congruence. Congruence is when your actions, your words,
Yeah.
and how you act all line up with what you're saying.
So it's about being yourself,
Yes.
not some version of what you think a persuasive person should be.
Got it.
So if you really believe in what you're saying,
Yeah.
that genuine energy comes through
It does.
and it connects with people.
People are good at sensing when someone's being fake.
It's true.
It's like we have a sixth sense
Right.
that picks up on those inconsistencies.
Okay, so I want to tie all of this back to personal development.
Right.
How can working on ourselves make us better at persuading others?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll get into on the next part.
Okay.
We'll explore how investing in your personal growth can actually supercharge your persuasive abilities.
I can't wait to hear more. This is all so interesting.
Stick with us because it's about to get even more interesting.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So we just talked about authenticity and how that realness can shine through when you
Right.
really believe in what you're saying. But what if you're trying to be persuasive in a situation where you don't feel totally confident?
That's where the power of expectation comes into play.
Oh, okay.
The excerpts suggest that our expectations can shape how we behave and even influence how other people react to us.
So if you go into a situation expecting a positive outcome,
Yeah,
you're more likely to seem confident,
right.
which then can influence the people you're talking to.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Interesting.
One of the excerpts even talked about salespeople.
Okay.
They act like closing the deal is a sure thing,
Yeah.
even before the customer is fully committed.
Wow.
It's about planting that seed of expectation.
It's amazing how much these little things can matter.
They do.
The excerpts also talked about small actions,
Like what?
like a door-to-door salesperson wiping their feet on the mat
Uh,
before they're even invited in.
okay.
It could seem pushy,
Yeah,
but it kind of sets the stage for what they want to happen.
it does.
Like it makes saying yes seem like the obvious next step.
Right.
Now, the excerpts also talk about using mystery and suspense.
Good.
How does that work in persuasion?
Remember the Zeigarnik effect.
Oh, yeah.
Our brains are wired to remember those unfinished stories and that feeling of unresolved tension.
Right.
Good persuaders use this to their advantage
Okay.
by creating a sense of intrigue.
Uh-huh.
They make the audience crave that resolution.
So instead of giving all the information away right away,
Exactly.
you create this puzzle that the audience wants to solve.
It's about sparking curiosity.
I get it.
Think about a good movie trailer.
Uh-huh.
It leaves you wanting to see the whole movie.
That's a great way to put it.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the content of a persuasive message.
Yeah.
What about the delivery?
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Even the best ideas will fall flat
Uh-huh.
if they're not delivered well.
Right.
The excerpts emphasize things like pacing,
Okay.
volume,
Yeah.
and using pauses strategically.
It's like those speakers who just command a room.
Right.
They know how to use their voice and their body language to
Right.
create a really captivating experience.
They understand that it's not just what you say,
Right.
but how you say it.
And that takes practice.
Absolutely.
The excerpts even suggested recording yourself speaking
Oh, yeah.
to see if you have any bad habits.
It can be tough to watch yourself,
It can be.
but it's so helpful.
It's like you're seeing your communication style for
Yeah.
the first time.
Now, going back to that authenticity thing,
Okay.
the excerpts also mention something called congruence.
Yeah, that's the actions, words, and demeanors all lining up.
Yeah.
But how do you actually develop that?
It starts with figuring out your own values
Okay.
and what you want to accomplish.
Uh-huh.
If what you're saying matches what you believe.
Yeah. It'll feel more genuine.
People can tell when you're being fake.
They
It's
can.
like we're all wired to spot those inconsistencies.
So now I want to bring this back to personal development.
All right?
How can we become better at persuading others
Right.
by working on ourselves?
That's what we'll be diving into in the next part.
All right.
We're going to explore how personal growth
Mm-hmm.
can actually supercharge your persuasion skills.
All right. I am so ready to get into this last part about personal development.
Yeah?
We've talked about techniques and strategies,
Mm,
but I have a feeling this is where it all comes together.
you're right. The excerpts actually say personal growth is like sharpening your axe.
Oh, yeah, that analogy.
Taking the time to work on yourself,
Yeah.
even when you're busy, makes you work smarter, not harder.
It's about putting in the work even when you don't think you have the time. It's knowing that learning is always valuable.
It really is. And it can take so many forms.
Right.
Reading books, finding mentors,
Yeah.
going to seminars,
Mm-hmm.
or even just thinking about what you've learned.
Mm-hmm.
The important thing is to keep growing
Yeah.
and keep learning.
I really liked that the excerpts talked about having multiple mentors.
You too?
It's like it goes against that whole lone wolf idea,
Right.
like the self-made person.
It's so helpful to have guidance from people who've been there,
It really,
people who've already done what you want to do.
mentors can give you a new perspective,
Yeah.
help you see things you might be missing,
Uh-huh.
and share their own experiences.
They got so much wisdom to offer.
The excerpts also talk about trying different ways to learn,
Like what?
not just sticking to one format like reading,
Okay.
but exploring audiobooks.
Yeah.
Seminars, online courses,
Yeah.
workshops,
Mhm.
even one-on-one coaching.
You got to find what works for you.
Exactly.
Get your own way to learn.
Yeah. And keep yourself engaged and excited about learning.
Right.
But it's easy to make excuses,
It is.
even when we know personal development is important.
We've all been there.
Like, I'm too busy,
Uh-huh.
or it's too expensive, or I already know this stuff.
Yeah, but the excerpts give a good way to reframe that.
How?
Instead of asking, can I afford this?
Yeah.
Ask, what will it cost me if I don't?
Wow, that's a big difference.
It is.
Well-
It helps you see what you might miss out on.
Like missed opportunities,
Exactly.
stalled growth,
Uh-huh.
and delayed success.
All because you didn't invest in yourself.
So beyond just personal development in general,
Yeah.
the excerpts get into specific areas that are important for persuasion.
Okay.
One that really stood out to me was knowing your product or service.
It's not enough to just have a basic understanding. You have to
Yeah.
become a real expert.
You have to know your stuff inside and out.
Exactly. You should be able to answer any question,
Yeah.
handle any objection, anticipate what your audience needs.
When you have that level of expertise,
Yeah.
it builds credibility and trust.
It does.
And that's key for being persuasive.
And it all goes back to personal development.
Right.
The more you learn and grow your knowledge, the more confident you'll become.
And that makes you more persuasive.
They also talk about really understanding your audience,
Oh, yeah.
like really digging deep,
Yeah.
researching demographics, identifying pain points,
Right.
and understanding their motivations.
You got to tailor your message
Yeah.
to connect with those specific needs and desires.
Now, remember when we talked about stories being powerful for persuasion?
Yes.
Personal development can help you there, too.
How so?
The more you learn and experience,
Yeah,
the more stories you'll have to tell.
that makes sense.
And stories are a great way to connect with people emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
They make information more memorable, and they can really leave a mark.
I'm seeing how it all connects.
It is all connected.
It's not just about learning techniques.
Right.
It's about becoming a better, more well-rounded person.
Exactly.
And that makes you a better persuader.
Now, you mentioned struggling with confidence when it comes to persuasion.
I do.
Do you think any of these personal development ideas could help with that?
I think so. The more I learn and grow,
Yeah.
and the better I understand my audience,
Mm-hmm.
the more confident I'll feel in any situation.
It's about building that foundation of knowledge and
Yeah.
self-assurance.
Don't forget about practice, too.
That's right. The more you practice your persuasion skills, the more comfortable you'll become.
It's like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get.
Okay, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to mention one more thing from the excerpts.
What's that?
They talk about how time is something we create,
Okay.
not just manage.
That's interesting. I always feel like time is slipping away.
I know what you mean,
Yeah.
but they want us to change how we think about it.
Okay.
Instead of saying, I don't have enough time, try saying, I can make time for this.
So it's about taking control of our schedules,
Exactly.
making choices about how we spend our time.
Figure out your most important goals
Right.
and schedule time for those first.
Put the important things first.
The excerpts also have some practical tips for creating time.
Like what?
Getting rid of distractions,
Oh, okay.
saying no to things that don't matter,
Uh-huh.
and even scheduling time to relax.
That last one seems counterintuitive.
I know, but taking breaks helps us be more productive.
Yeah, it's about making a lifestyle that supports your goals.
Exactly. Both personal and professional goals.
So basically, personal development is how we reach our full potential as persuaders.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's about becoming a more knowledgeable person.
Yeah.
Someone who's well-rounded and authentic.
Mm-hmm.
It's about investing in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
expanding what you're good at,
Yeah.
and always being open to learning new things.
It's like sharpening your axe. So
Exactly.
you can be a master persuader.
One last thought. The excerpts end with this question. What if you could ask for anything and you knew you couldn't be refused? What would you ask for?
That really makes you think. It shows just how powerful persuasion can be
It does.
when it's used in the right way.
It reminds us that personal development is about more than just getting what we want.
True.
It's about being the best versions of ourselves
Yeah.
and making a positive impact on the world.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive
It has.
into the world of persuasion and personal development.
We hope you learned something
Yeah.
and feel inspired to use these strategies.
Remember, you have the power to be a master persuader.
You do.
It all starts with a commitment to personal growth and
Right.
being open to the journey.
Keep learning, keep growing,
Yeah.
and keep getting those yeses.
Until next time, keep diving deep.